Okay, for number 13 from 12.6, you got this problem about a math club, and the math club has 72, buys a $72 calculator. So we start with wanting to know what our variable would be, which is X, which is going to represent the number of students in the math club. That's what we don't know at the last sentence in the question, where it says how many students were in the club. So what they do is they split the $72 evenly amongst themselves. And so the problem is all about how much did each student pay for the calculator. So to begin with, if it costs $72 and there are X students, that's how much each of them paid. And then the problem says, if there had been 2 more students in the club, which means there are X plus 2 students, they would have each paid 50 cents less. And so 2 more students would have been 72 over X plus 2. And that amount is going to be 50 cents less than this amount. And so we can just say minus 0.5 or 1/2 equals 72 over X plus 5. Take away 50 cents from the amount they did pay, set it equal to what they would have paid if there were 2 more students. And now we have a quadratic equation. We could think about 0.5 as 1/2 since we're dealing with fractions here. So we're going to go through and we're going to multiply by 2 times x plus 2. So the x cancels here, which leaves us 2 times x plus 2. Then we have to multiply 72 by. The 2 cancels here, so we're minusing x times x plus 2. And then over here, the x plus 2 cancels, so 72 times 2x. Multiply everything out, you get, this is 144, so 144x plus 288 minus x squared minus 2x equals 144x. The nice thing that happens on this problem is you get your 144x's that cancel themselves out. Since both of these are negative, this is positive, we can multiply through by a -1 to give us x squared plus 2x minus 288 equals 0. You can either try to factor this or because it probably will be an integer answer because you're talking about the number of people. But if you don't feel like you can see it factoring wise, the other way you could do this is you could use the quadratic formula. So you'd say x equals -b, so -2 plus or minus square root of b squared, which would be 4, minus 4ac, so 4 times 1 times -288, all over 2. And so we need to know what this is going to equal. And so that does turn out to be a pretty big number. And so you're going to do 4 times 288 to get 1152. Now notice it is going to be just plus because the minus would give us a negative. And so it's 1152. So when we add 4 to that, we get 1156, where we need to see what that equals. Well, it does turn out that the square root of 1156 is 34. And so we get -2 plus 34 all over 2, which gives us 32 over 2, which is 16. And so there are 16 people in the math club because 16 divided by 72 does turn out to be $4.50. And then 72 divided by 18, because if you added 2 more students, you'd have 18 students, that equals $4. And so that's 50 cents more per student.